Now, in Mecca, one of the most sacred cities in Islam, public prayers to mark al-Fitr have been taking place, but only a few dozen worshippers gathered at the Great Mosque. Saudi Arabia has imposed a round-the-clock curfew after infections surged to nearly 70,000. It's a different picture in Pakistan, though, where large gatherings have been spotted across the country. In its biggest city, Karachi, public prayers to mark Eid have taken place despite the threat of the virus spreading. Muslim scholars are urging people to follow social distancing during celebrations. Unlike many other countries under lockdown, people in Iran are being allowed to pray inside mosques. President Hassan Rouhani has been easing restrictions since April. Some businesses, historical sites and museums are being allowed to reopen from Sunday, but the government is urging people not to travel during the Eid holiday. Zein Basravi has been talking to people in the capital.
We're here in downtown Tehran, and on any other Eid before the coronavirus pandemic, this would have been a very different scene. One of the main areas for prayers in the city, the Musalla, where the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei would lead prayers and then deliver a sermon. Iranians say millions would gather there to offer prayer services. That was completely canceled. In downtown, some mosques were allowed to hold prayers. There were limited prayer congregations across the city, across the country. In the mosque behind me, there were plans to have prayers this morning, but they were canceled last minute, and people were moved to the mosque on the campus of Tehran University to facilitate the Eid prayer services there. But where there would have been on the streets outside the university, in the university campus, inside the mosque, where there would have been thousands, this day there were only dozens. Certainly an impact of COVID-19, really keeping people at home, people still taking social distancing seriously when it comes to congregations like this. One woman we met said it was the first time she'd left her home since the control measures were put in place, since the lockdown quarantine measures were put in place months ago. Another family we met said they were from the northern Mazandaran province, one of the epicenters for the coronavirus outbreak, and they'd been stuck because they were observing the intercity travel ban that had been in place for weeks and months. Now that, though, has been lifted, many people are not observing it, and is something that the health ministry has warned people against. During the Nowruz, the Persian New Year, the travel across the country is something that helped spread the virus very quickly to all provinces in Iran. The health ministry here before the Eid day did warn people not to engage in that kind of travel. However, at the same time, President Hassan Rouhani has said that tourist sites will begin to reopen, that restaurants and cafes will begin to reopen later this week. Certainly the government is doing the calculus, the math about an acceptable level of an infection and death rates to start getting the country moving forward again.